Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners, not staff meeting. Do I have an agenda for this one?
Right here.
Thank you, Deb.
Okay. There's one item.
Yeah,
Very good. I probably do, but I missed it. All right, starting again. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Lancaster County Board of Commissioners meeting for Thursday, December 16th, 2021. I'm going to go ahead and do the introductions this morning. I am Commissioner Rick Vest, Chair of the committee, the board. To my left is Vice Chair Deb Shore. To her left, Commissioner Krista Yoakum. To my right, Commissioner Roma Amundsen. And to her right, Commissioner Sean Flowerday. Mr. Clerk, please begin the meeting.
A copy of the Nebraska Open Meetings Act is located on the wall at the rear of the hearing room. Additionally, all material to be discussed today, open meeting is available for electronic viewing from the county clerk's staff. Printing options are available upon request. The material can also be viewed on the county's website at lancaster.nd.gov. Agenda item 1 is new business. This is a resolution on special permit 21042 to allow for the construction of a large solar energy conversion system in compliance with section 13-051 of the Lancaster County zoning regulations after closing of the December 7th, 2021 public hearing.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now, as a reminder, we will not be receiving any public testimony during this discussion. We do have Mr. Hendrickson here if there are any questions any of the staff would like to ask him. Commissioners, we've heard an enormous amount of testimony on this topic. There is a lot to consider here, and I would just open the floor for any commissioners who'd like to share at this time. Anyone have any thoughts? I know we're going to have a proposal.
I have an amendment, but I know some of the commissioners had some thoughts. I was going to wait until if other people had opportunity to share them first.
Anything?
Or I can go. It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, very good. I would just say that the challenge before us, as we've identified before and discussed many times, is there a lot of balancing to be done here. We heard a lot of testimony about very different facets related to this solar farm. We heard about the enormous investment that it would bring into our community. We heard about the jobs it would provide for our friends at IBEW and other entities during the construction phase. We heard about almost $900,000 a year in tax revenue that would go primarily to the Waverly School District. We heard about the environmental concerns. We heard about landowners who would receive an increased revenue source for the property that they own and pay taxes on. We also heard about concerns from very good people who live in the area and will be most directly affected by anything we do here today. We have a lot to consider. I know each of you have thought about this carefully. I know the people that you're looking to do the best you can for all the people involved. With that, I guess I'd turn it over to you, Commissioner Flowerday.
Yeah, so I guess I will start by making a motion, and then I will explain, then I'll explain it. So I move that we approve the special permit with the following amendment to the permit. I have a red-lined copy here of the resolution prepared by the county attorney's office. So if everyone just wants to take one and pass down, then please make sure the clerk's office has one here. And what this amendment does is it accepts all of the recommendations from the Planning Commission. Additionally, it creates an additional setback. It creates an additional setback of 450 feet from the exterior wall of the dwelling for all, from the exterior wall of the non-participating dwelling for all residences in the project. So what that means is, whichever is greater, either 450 feet from the exterior wall of the non-participating residence or the setbacks that were already stipulated from the property lines, 300 or 100 feet, whichever of those that is greater, that'll be the setback. This means that everybody included, CUP or not CUP, all residences will have at least a football field and a half between themselves and any solar panels, any non-participating residences. I'm sorry, I want to be very clear, this applies to non-participating residences. So that's the setback amendment to that. Additionally, there is language in here stipulating that Ranger Power or the future operator of the project has to allow for ongoing training with the local fire departments, which we have discussed, and they've indicated that was perfectly acceptable, as well as access to the Knox and locks boxes. Again, Ranger Power has already said this is fine. We're just clarifying it in the language. And then finally, we clarified, there was some concern about the Planning Commission's language on screening, so we clarified that in addition to the 6 trees per 100 feet and the evergreens, that the evergreens had to be at least 4 feet when they were planted, and that this applies to the residential areas. We didn't see any purpose for screening cornfields from each other. So that's what's in this. Again, I'm happy to go over that again for anybody if they missed it. Our attorney here has the red line copy up here. Is there any discussion, any points we want to talk about?
Well, first of all, we have a motion.
Right.
We have a motion that's been proposed and somewhat explained by Commissioner Flowerday. Do we have a second?
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Commissioners, we've covered a lot of ground there. Let me see if I can capture it. I'm seeing the site-specific conditions on page 4. Commissioner, am I reading that right?
Yes.
Those are where the
Okay.
changes are. Yeah.
And it's item 1.6. The setback will be 450 feet measured to the closest exterior wall of the dwelling, whichever is greater. So
That's the new language. The full,
That's the new- yeah.
The full language is, in 1.6 is the 300-foot setback for non-participating dwellings that are in a community unit plan. Yeah.
Okay, so we're maintaining the 300-foot setback from the property line for homes in the CUP, and we're adding language that says a 450-foot setback from the closest exterior wall, whichever is greater.
Whichever is greater.
Further away.
Whichever's greater.
So if the house is on one side of the property, not a CUP side, then that 450 feet would extend out into non-CUP farm ground.
Correct. It is 450 from the exterior wall of non-participating residences in every direction, period.
Period. And if the 300 feet from the property line in the CUP is greater, then that would be the standard.
If it's a long, narrow property, someone lives at the back, and that becomes 600 feet or whatever, yes, then it's whichever is greater.
Okay, so at a minimum, 450 from your dwelling, any direction, and maybe more from your dwelling, depending on how your property lays out. Okay,
Correct.
that's one of the proposed changes. The other one you talked about was screening, and that is in Article 3. Is that what I'm seeing on the same page?
Article 3, yes.
Minimum of 4 feet at the
Yep.
time of planning.
Minimum 4 feet.
There is a notation also, the continued maintenance of
Yes.
said
Yes.
trees, which is
Yes.
significant
Good catch,
as well.
thank you.
Oh, okay, yeah, that holds them accountable that if trees are dying for whatever the reason. Okay, so that's enough, yeah.
And
Rona,
I
please.
do have a question regarding the fire, the rural fire departments and so forth. Are they going to have a hand in planning for the access and so forth to the, how they're going to get into the solar farm?
Yeah, so that's right here in section 4.5. It stipulates that they will have access to the lock boxes, e.g. Knox boxes, and they'll provide an annual
Access
tour for
points.
any rural fire department volunteers, any equipment, keys, or codes as necessary. Yeah, all that access is stipulated here.
Okay.
I think it's important that there's an ongoing effort to reach out to these fire departments. I mean, the initial one is great, and we want to start on the right foot, But to do it on an annual basis, I think is important.
It only works if you have ongoing annual training,
Yeah,
absolutely.
people change out there, there's new groups coming in, so that's an important addition. Commissioner Shore.
And I think one of the things to remember is this is a special use permit that can be reviewed or revoked at any time by the county board. And to me, that puts pressure on the developer as well as the operator at that point to maintain that relationship with the neighbors. And you mentioned having people available during construction and then also contact for people during operating 24 hours if they, I don't know, for what reason. But to me, that's important, that it's not just built and left with that ongoing relationship, whether you're talking maintenance of the panels or maintenance of the roads or maintenance of the trees. To me, that's a significant point.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. We encourage development in our community, but we want responsible developers. We want people who are coming into our community that are going to be forthright and be good do everything in their power to be good neighbors. This hasn't always been the case, but that's what we're expecting at this point in time. So well said, Commissioner. Any other questions, concerns, comments? We want, once we finish our discussion, the next step is a vote. So I want to make sure we cover everything important to us. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
Yes,
Best.
Yes,
Motion carries 5-0.
we would need a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Please call the roll.
Shore,
Yes.
Amundson,
Yes.
Yocum,
Yes.
Flowerday,
yes.
Best.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.